What is up, everyone? Welcome to Apocalypse Movies. My name is Jake Wynn, and I am joined today by Jacob Bartley and Ryan Avicino. And we are here to do our top 5 films of 2017. Now, this isn't all-inclusive. You probably have seen our top 5 geek movies of the year. This is original content, different movies that are different from the big, giant comic book blockbusters that are out there. You know, you have the Logan Luckies, the Lady Birds, the Shape of Waters, those type of movies. This is what this list is going to include. We have honorable mentions. We're going to go our 5 through 3, number 2, and then number 1. So I'm actually going to start it off, because just change it up a little bit. I'm going to do some honorable mentions. I got 5 honorable mentions because this list is clearly so big, and I got a list in front of me because there's so many. I got Lady Bird, fantastic film. We are here in Sacramento, so this movie has an emotional attachment to us because it is such a great film about Sacramento and the meaning of this city. Logan Lucky, the Steven Soderbergh film. Channing Tatum, Adam Driver, Daniel Craig. Such a great, great cast and a great, fun, different kind of movie. Only the Brave, the Josh Brolin firefighter film. Fantastic.
Oh, nice. Never saw that.
I was super emotional in that movie because it's such a true story, so different, and just how heartbreaking it was at the end. You have Mudbound, the Netflix film that got picked up earlier this year. It has a really heartbreaking story about slavery, white versus blacks after the Civil War. And finally, Battle of the Sexes, the film with Emma Stone and Steve Carell about the Bobby Riggs and Billie Jean King tennis match. 5 great films that can deserve my list, but they aren't on my list for a reason.
Wow.
At number 5, I have Lost City of Z, the Charlie Hunnam film.
Really? Oh my goodness.
I saw this earlier this year in about March or April, and I am still blown away by this movie. It's so adventurous. It's so... it is also very heartbreaking, very movie. Dramatic. Charlie Hunnam, Tom Holland, and Sienna Miller star in that movie. Also Robert Pattinson, who was really, really good in that movie. But journeying along the Amazon and trying to find El Dorado, and it's just such a heartbreaking story about this man who basically has nothing in his life, and this all he has is these journeys trying to find this lost city. Charlie Hunnam is fantastic, probably his best role to date, other than Jax from Sons of Anarchy, of course. Number 4, I have Wind River, and this is a movie that us two have absolutely raved about.
Yes, we
Brian,
have.
not so much. Jeremy Renner, Elizabeth Olsen, Taylor Sheridan, who his directorial debut, but he actually wrote Sicario and Hell or High Water, 2 movies that have been on my top 5 list over the past couple of years. Absolutely fantastic, a different landscape, different kind of story. Again, very dark and dramatic, and also heartbreaking in the end. Such a fantastic film. And then I have number 3, War for Planet of the Apes. And this movie, you guys know how much I love my apes, and the only reason this isn't higher on my list is because it made me realize how much I absolutely love Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. But after a second viewing, I figured out what it really was. There's not as much war, which is what I was kind of bummed about, but it's very much a character study and giving us a finale for Caesar. And Matt Reeves, fantastic. Andy Serkis, fantastic. Absolutely floored by this movie. 5 through 3, Lost City of Z, Wind River, and War for Planet of the Apes. Jacob?
All right, so I just have to give 2 honorable mentions. These 2 were fighting for that 5 spot, especially the second one. The first one is The Shape of Water. I just watched it recently. I was very much looking forward to this movie because I love weird stuff. And also, the movie does not hold back. There's really no boundaries in this film.
Del Toro, man.
And he just puts it out there for you. And I love that. And so I really adored that movie. It was really great. And then this movie, I'm so upset it's not number 5, but it's Baby Driver.
Oh!
I love Baby Driver so much. It's one of the best movies of the year. It's definitely in my top 10. And I wish I could put it on there, but there's other great movies that came out, so that makes my honorable mentions list. But my number 5 movie is a movie you guys probably haven't seen, and that is The Big Sick. It is a comedy movie. It's based on a true story, and it was
the guy from Silicon Valley.
Exactly. It was a little small indie that came out in the middle of the year, but I went and saw it, and I really, really liked it. It's hilarious. It's sad. It's like
true story, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's based on a true story. It's like based on him and how his girlfriend really met and how they came together, and it's like a hard R comedy as well. So it has that element to it, which
it's
Jake
your
knows
2-year
exactly. So it has everything going for me. So it barely beats out Baby Driver for that number 5 spot. And number 4 a Wonder Woman movie did make this top 5 list, and that is Professor Marston and the Wonder Women. I love this movie. You're going to see an ongoing theme with this because this movie is also rated R, and it also does not hold back, and it also is very edgy and very raunchy and dirty, and it has that element to it as well. And I thought it was fascinating learning about how Wonder Woman was created and what went into that and how much it meant at the time. And Luke Evans is amazing. Rebecca Hall is incredible. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about her for Best Supporting Actress in this movie for this year, but out of the movies I've seen, I think she deserves a nomination for Best Supporting Actress. She's phenomenal in that movie. It's such a great film all the way around. And that is my number 4 film. My number 3 film is Coco. I love Coco. I talk about bringing you to tears. This movie is incredible, and happy tears too. It's just a celebration of life type of movie, you know, and it tackles the Day of the Dead and the Mexican tradition so well. Even though I'm not too familiar with that stuff, I've heard that it like really hits it on the nose, and it's just a phenomenal film. Pixar does it again. It's a great movie. So those are my 5 through 3.
Do you like Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman more than Wonder Woman?
It's higher on. Oh no, they're about neck and neck.
They're about the same.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's higher on my overall list, but I think Wonder Woman's like 7 and that movie's like 9 or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so my number 5. Actually, let me give you a couple honorable mentions. Number 1, It. I was really surprised with how much I liked It. I'm not a horror person, even though it's not really a horror movie. Even just that aspect doesn't draw me in very much. So that movie kind of played a little factor. I know you're going to flip out when I say this, but honorable mention is Blade Runner.
Oh my god!
Didn't make my top 5 by literally a hair. It was a battle for my number 5, and with getting into that, Baby Driver was my number 5. Jake will hate my whole entire list, but my list. My number 4 was Mudbound, the Netflix movie. That movie, if you haven't seen it,
it's so good.
It is one of the most powerful movies I have seen in a long time. It is phenomenal.
It has Jason Mitchell from Eazy-E, and then Garrett Hedlund and Jason Clarke.
It had a great cast.
It was a great movie. I found myself just...
It's a Netflix movie,
yes.
right? Wow.
I just sat there
and
awesome. My eyes wouldn't leave the screen. My number 3, Atomic Blonde.
Nice.
I freaking love that movie.
Oh my goodness.
That movie was awesome.
I love seeing it on there, man.
Love Charlize Theron. Love her. The fact that she plays a badass spy is perfect. That's exactly what she needs to be all the time. Love that movie.
I love how different our lists are. That's the great thing about movies. And that's the great thing.
What's cool about it is that bringing the geek movies out of it makes it that much more
exactly, because if they were, they'd be all our top 5 movies, you know? Yes. It wouldn't be fair.
All right, so number 2, I'll go ahead and start that off. Number 2 is probably going to surprise you both. I got Baby Driver as number 2. And Edgar Wright, this is by far his best film in my opinion. Also, Elgort could not be better. That opening scene is a perfect interpretation of what this movie really is. Yeah. John Hamm, Jamie Foxx, Kevin Spacey. I know Kevin Spacey hasn't been in the good grace of people lately, but he is really, really good in this movie. He says one specific line in there. They're talking about the whole bank robbery, and it kind of goes off, and it's just like phenomenal. But the pacing, the way the music is used, Lily James as well, who's Cinderella.
She's phenomenal.
She is really rising the ranks as far as actresses go. So yeah, Baby Driver is my number 2. I will continuously enjoy watching that movie because it is just so flooring, and you know, and I'm also kind of into the whole car thing, and I always kind of have been. So seeing him drive like that, it's just phenomenal. So yeah, number 2, Baby Driver.
My number 2 is Lady Bird.
Nice.
I freaking love this movie so much. I was telling these guys before the video started, I had no idea that it's about Sacramento, and I live in Sacramento. I heard it was getting great reviews, and I do that sometimes. I just hear movies getting great reviews, and I go watch it. That's what I did. And I'm not going to give any spoilers, but anyways, the movie is basically a love letter to Sacramento and what it means to live here, as well as growing up as a young girl in Sacramento. And I was so attached to this movie because I'm like, wow, that you got it right on the nose. That's exactly what it's like to live here. So there was just something special with that movie. And just aside from that, even if the movie was set in some other city, I would have recognized it as a great film. And Saoirse Ronan is amazing.
She's so good.
Yeah.
And
so
like,
good.
what's the director? Greta
Gerwig.
Greta Gerwig,
yeah.
phenomenal director.
Her first film directed.
If you look at this, 2 of my top 5 are directed by women: Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman and Lady Bird. So
Awesome.
great year for female directors, including Patty Jenkins
Yes.
too. So
What do you got, Brian?
All right, so my number 2 is I, Tonya. Jake hasn't seen it. I loved
I
it.
haven't seen it yet either. I can't
Both of
wait
them
to
have
see
it.
I can't
He's
wait to
dying to see it. I watched it today. It is phenomenal. It is hilarious. It is riveting. You can't take your eyes
Wow.
off the screen.
I'm gonna go watch it tonight.
Loved it. You need to find a way to watch it because it is amazing. And my number 1 movie.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Do you want me to hear
Yeah,
it?
go
No,
ahead.
no.
No, go ahead. I was going to say something about I, Tonya, but I'll save it for later.
Okay,
Go ahead.
no.
Go
Okay,
ahead,
fine.
go ahead.
My number 1 is Lady Bird, actually.
Awesome.
Growing up, I didn't grow
Awesome.
up in Sacramento, but I came up here about 4 years ago. It is phenomenal. I will watch that movie over and over and over again. I cannot wait for it to come out on Blu-ray because I'm going to
Yeah,
buy it
me
that
too.
day. It is amazing. The actors and actresses in that movie hit it out of the park. Every single thing about it, I haven't been that riveted in a movie in
That's
a
awesome.
long time. And it was great.
That whole I, Tonya thing, man, just like, I will never forgive you for watching that without me.
You've been really looking forward to it.
Oh my
huh?
god, that movie. I would not be surprised if it ends up as my number 1 after I watch it.
Wow.
But my number 1 is Blade Runner 2049. I am in love with this film. It's fantastic.
Wow.
The visuals. Ryan Gosling has been rising up my charts ever since I saw him in La La Land last year. You got Denis Villeneuve, who is my favorite director working right now. Harrison Ford, the godfather of acting, in my opinion, just absolutely fantastic. It's just such a good film, and maybe people are complaining that it's too long. Guess what? Enjoy the flipping experience, because I don't know if you'll ever get something like this ever again. I watched it just the other day for the first time in a while. I will never let go of that movie. Never. And what's interesting is that I'm not very high on the original, which is like
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Blade Runner 2049, my number 1 movie, best movie of the year.
Well, I think it's safe to say we all need to do some catching up. 'Cause
Yeah.
we all haven't seen a lot of films, but my number 1 non-comic book superhero Star Wars movie is Wind River. Same as Lady Bird, I didn't watch a trailer, just went in blind, and my jaw was on the floor when that movie ended. I just was like, I didn't know what was going to happen. It was so intense, and I was like on the edge of my seat. I couldn't predict what was going to happen. I didn't know what was going on, and that played into it. It's kind of a mystery, thriller, and just a bunch of things combined.
Suspenseful,
Jeremy
yeah.
Renner is amazing. Like
It might be his best role.
yeah,
Oh,
like
it
ever
is.
since I watched The Town, and then just from then on, like he's amazing in The Town. Might be my favorite
Town,
role of
awesome.
his. But he's just a great actor. I think even though he does get critical acclaim, I think he's underrated. Still.
Yes. He is.
He doesn't get the praise that he deserves. That movie just had me like, I wanted to cry. I didn't cry, but I wanted to cry by the end of that film. I don't know what Brian's thinking. I think he's crazy.
A little slow for my
This
taste.
guy.
It's like you don't even like it.
Yeah.
But I love Wind River. I think it's not my favorite movie of the year. That goes to Logan, but it is my number 2 movie of the year overall. Jake, let me ask you: what is your number 1 movie overall? You have is it Blade
Blade
Runner?
Runner 2049.
Awesome.
Yeah, go watch our Wind River review, because him and I kind of like,
Yeah.
we almost get emotional talking about this
Well,
movie.
And it's a spoiler review, so we go into a depth of why we like it, so you can really understand how much we liked it.
So did you go into your number 1?
Yeah, that's Wind River.
Wind River, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
My bad. So let's run through them real quick before we end this video. Brian, why don't you go ahead, 5 through 1, what do you got?
My 5 through number 1, is Baby Drivers number 5, Mudbound number 4, Atomic Blonde number 3, I, Tonya number 2, and Lady Bird is number 1.
I got Lost City of Z at number 5, Wind River at number 4, War for Planet of the Apes at number 3, Baby Driver at number 2, and Blade Runner, the godfather of 2017 movies, 2049
that's crazy.
at number 1.
All right, I have The Big Sick at number 5. I have Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman at number 4. I have Coco at number 3. I have Lady Bird at number 2 and Wind River at number 1.
Whoa, you didn't say Blade Runner 2049 at all, did you?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh my god.
So Yeah, like I said, we gotta catch up. I gotta watch I, Tonya. I gotta watch Blade Runner 2049. I gotta watch Mudbound. You had enough.
That's available right now on Netflix. Go watch that movie.
So there's a bunch of them.
All right, well, that's gonna wrap up our top 5 2017 films, non-geek version. I would like to thank both Brian and Jacob for joining me today. Go and check out top 5 films. This video, of course, top 5 geek films. Our top 5 worst films is going to come up very, very shortly, as well as our most anticipated films of next year. Those videos will be up in about a week. Thank you for watching, and until next time, see you later.